Hi everybody, my name is Jessica and this is my channel Plant Hooker. I'd like to start off saying that I now have a new Instagram account. It's plant_hooker1 because my old account unfortunately was hacked, and I had attempted for 3 days to try and retrieve it and I couldn't get it back. So now I have a new one and I have to start basically all over again. But today we are going to talk about my Peperomia Obtusfolia. Now these are all Obtusfolias, but these are the regular Obtusfolias, and this one is my lemon lime Obtusfolia. It requires a little bit of a different caregiving than the regular one does. I have it here because I wanted to show you a healthy example of Obtusfolia, while mine is on the brink of death thanks to an infestation of thrisp. But because I almost didn't do this video because of how it looks, but then I figured, well, what better way to show people when to tell your Obtusfolia is in trouble than to show them your mistakes. Now, this one is actually a propagation from this guy. Now, as you can see, how much healthier he looks and pretty. I didn't realize he had thrisp until it was to this point here, where he's on the verge of dying, because from what I had researched, supposedly Peperomia couldn't get thrisp. They could only get like fungus gnat issues and mealybugs, which is not true. I have had an uphill battle with thrisp on this guy since the spring. And the reason why he had done fine is because I didn't realize it was thrisp at first until it was almost too late. So I kind of caught them on him before they actually did any damage. Like, there is a tiny bit of damage, as you can see on this leaf here. But what I had done was I overwatered, thinking I wasn't watering him enough. I changed the soil, so he's in coco coir now. Cleaned the leaves. I assumed soil mites, so I had put a tiny bit of hydrogen peroxide in a liter of water. Don't put no more than a teaspoon in a liter, because then you can kill the roots. And I have killed plants that way. So, and once these leaves are damaged, they stay damaged. Like, there's no fixing them. But he is coming back. He's got some new growth on the sides and whatnot. Now, I've had him for about a year and a half. I had purchased this plant in a bundle from, again, the Plant Collective. And also, again, don't buy from them. The company doesn't exist anymore. Even though their website is still up and running, you won't get your plants. You'll order a plant and then you won't receive your plant, and the only way you'll be able to get your money back is through your credit card company. Now, Peperomia are flowering plants. Their flowers are like these long spiky little rat tail things. Not sure how much pollen they release and if it'll bother your allergies. Not sure, haven't tested yet, because this propagation was originally meant for my brother, but because of how this guy is acting, I don't know if I want to give him this one now. But this guy did look like this guy at one point in time. So this is what a healthy Obtusfolia looks like. This is a not so healthy Obtusfolia. Now, their Latin name for all Peperomias are Peperomia, I think I may have pronounced that right. They can get up to about 2.5 to 3 feet tall. This guy was only as tall as this guy. They are slow growing, and they can remain in the same pot for numerous amounts of years, like 2 to 3 years before they'll need an up pot, because they are slow growing, and they tend to grow more so on top of things in the wild than they will on the ground. these guys are native to like Florida, Mexico, and other parts of the Caribbean, so they like it warm and humid. These guys, he does better in lower humidity than these guys do, and the reason for that is because I bought him from a flower shop, so he was already exposed to normal humidities and has done quite well. These guys I bought, or this guy I bought from a nursery where they had all the conditions at perfect, so he had to adjust himself to my conditions. So when people make fun of you for buying plants from like big box stores and Walmart's, Obies, and places like that, don't feel offended. Those plants will probably survive better in your environment than an expensive plant you bought online and you had imported or shipped to you. Because these are some examples here. And I have other plants that are like that as well that I will use and make more examples of later. So these guys I missed about twice a week. Or, well, him twice a week. I might miss this guy once a week because he's used to the humidity and whatnot. These guys are currently in coco coir, but I have heard that they like to be in pon and leca and other semi-hydros. You can't put them outside, but only July and August, because these guys like heat, so about 18 to 25 degrees Celsius. And because I have a wood stove and it does get hotter in here and drier, that's one reason why I do miss these guys more often than this guy, because he's already somewhat used to the humidity. South-facing and west-facing windows they prefer. They don't mind being like pulled back, like not in direct bright light, like part sun, part shade. Him, however, I have him in the bright light because to try and bring him back from the monstrosities that the thrips have put him through. They are non-toxic to cats. I can guarantee this because these guys can be on the floor and my suicidal cat Gwen will not touch them. She walks by them. Everybody else will make an attempt to eat them, like Ziva, who you've met already. They're very hardy, easy to care for. They don't really demand a lot. I might water this guy once a month and this guy every 15 to 20 days. You have to let the soil completely dry up first before you water them. They are like low demand, because one of the main issues with these guys that a lot of people suffer from isn't pests but overwatering, and which can lead to root rot. And one way to tell, these guys have never been overwatered before, but one way to tell is you'll get black spots on the leaves and they seem to actually be a part of the leaf, and that's how you know you've overwatered your plant. And changing the soil can sometimes help that or make it worse. I've had that happen. But all-purpose fertilizer is what I use on these guys, and they seem to do fine and great with that. You can use the green plant food and the flowering plant food, especially when they have their flowers on. Other than that, I really love my Obtusfolia. It's why I'm trying so hard to bring him back from the dead. And yeah, they're hardy. He loves me. These pots here, these two here, I got these off of Amazon. I will put a link in the description because they're an excellent pot. They're just like a nursery pot, and you can have like a little cache at the bottom. And they're great. They're really strong. Like I've had, not these two, but I've had other plants that I've dropped and the plastic lasted. They have stood the test of time. This one is in a little ceramic pot that I got at Walmart that I believe was originally a teacup, and then I took a deck screw and a hammer and I put a hole in it so it would have drainage. You can grow these without drainage, but you would have to be like a real expert, or you'd have to have like a glass pot so you can see how much water you're putting in it to ensure that you don't overwater it. If you have any questions, leave them below. I'll try to answer them as best to my abilities. And like and subscribe. And live long, plant on.